Hi folks, Sharkman here. It's been several months since my last video, and I'm here to record another dungeon crawl game. So, right now I'm in the midst of Great Racing Tengu, but I think I'll play Demonspawn because I love playing Demonspawn. Demonspawn are so much fun. I'll play an Abyssal Knight, and maybe I might not play an Abyssal Knight. I might play... Yeah, let's go with Abyssal Knights. Abyssal Knights are fun. And let's pick a mace as a weapon, because maces are pretty much the best weapon class in my opinion. So, I'm going to want to have maces and flails being trained. I'm going to want to have it on manual. I'm going to want to have invocations being trained, because it's very important to Lugonu, or however you pronounce this deity's name. People in the community tend to refer to that deity as Lucy, and so from this point on I'll probably just say Lucy. So Lucy's starting power is to let you out of the abyss, which Abyssal Knight's starting the abyss, so that's handy. I reached level 2, got my first Demonspawn mutation, and I got one of the most powerful mutations in the game, Demonspawn mutation, and that's powered by death, that every enemy you kill gives you short-term regeneration. I'm playing on Trunk because I enjoy playing on Trunk, and I really enjoy the recent changes. There have been changes to amulets, there have been changes to elves, and stuff like that. So Lucy likes it when you kill stuff. Basically, anything that you kill gives you piety. So the only things that really don't are like non-living things like statues, but hardly anything gives you XP for that except for, piety, except for red. But red is special. So here I found an altar to Okawaru. I can tell because I've seen this vault before, and reached level 3, and I got what is this called? It's Magic Shield, yeah. So Magic Shield's a pretty decent mutation, in my opinion. It works really well on casters because level 2, your MP regeneration is doubled, and that will actually work really well for this Demonspawn because Lucy's best ability, Banish, requires 4 magic points. And so regenerating those will be very useful. So, Banishment you get at 3 stars, which I will hit sooner or later. Banishment sends your enemy to the abyss, and they're basically out of your hair for quite a while. You can actually find them later if you go to the abyss. So if I banish, like, let's say DsAK, because Jessica's easy enough to just beat, but let's say I did banish her, there's a chance of meeting her in Abyss 1, so that's neat. So basically, Demonspawn just have mutations that greatly benefit you. They have 5 sets of mutations, or they get 5 sets of mutations. I fell down a shaft. I could pick up and wear the scale mail. I have no spells right now, and I have a strength decent enough to wear it, so I might do that. Found a ghost of a weakling transmuter, so I'm going to see if I can kill it. I did. The reason why I was not very scared there was because it was a Naga ghost, and Naga ghosts are slow, so I could just walk away if I was in trouble. Here's Terrence. Terrence isn't a particularly tough unique, so I think I can beat him. Alright, I think I will fight him another time. Lucy's ability that you get at 2 stars is Bend Space, which is basically Blink, and it's super great. Okay, that was silly of me. I went back to the same spot that, okay, just making some minor mistakes, but I'm okay. just finished my exams, so clearly it's time to drink. One thing I recommend is to not drink and play crawl. I don't always follow my advice though. So, alright, so Bend to Space has a really low cost. It only costs 1 magic point, costs a bit of hunger, and then does you anywhere between 1 to 4 points of damage, which, while important to note, aren't really that bad. So there's an orc wizard that I am rightly quite afraid of, and I found a ruined flail, and I figured that there's a decent chance it was enchanted, so I took a risk and wielded it. Here we find the unique Robin. Robin throws hobgoblins, and she can give them all might, which actually makes her reasonably dangerous, but I'm definitely in decent enough shape to take them. There's an Orc Priest. Orc Priest will smite you and ruin your day. So I put an exclusion on him, and I'm just going to continue on. I have reached the point in which I can banish enemies, so that's always something to keep in mind. One bad thing about Magic Shield is that if you get low enough on magic, you won't be able to banish your enemies, so that's something to keep in mind. So I've started identifying my potions, and if I want to play well, I should really read any scroll that I reach a 2 of, so I know what it is. So as you can see, this regeneration is keeping me... Oops, it stopped. But it was keeping me at pretty decent health. Yeah, I'm being kind of dumb right now. I'll drink a potion of heal wounds, go up the stairs, and see what I can do. I got green scales, which will eventually give me poison resistance after giving me an additional AC after its 2nd level, and then 4 AC at the 4 AC total at the 3rd level, but that might be in a long while. So I'm going to heal up, go down the stairs, and try to kill this Orc Priest. And I did it with relative ease, so... Demonspawn have worse aptitudes than humans in pretty much everything, except for necromancy and invocations. Necromancy, they have a +1 because they're, part demon. And then invocations, because they're part demon, they're good at god stuff, I guess. But in most other cases, they have a aptitude of 1 less. Except for also hexes. They also have, in hexes they have they have a 0 aptitude instead of a -1. So, oh, and spellcasting and hexes, and I think summoning, they have the average aptitude. And fighting. Okay, well, there's like 4. How about that? So that's Crazy Youth, or however you say it, I don't know. And he could be... Okay, so I picked up a blowgun because blowguns plus needles are very powerful, but this blowgun in particular was cursed, and -3. So, while rare, that is quite bad for me. So I'm going to try... How long do I think I can... Okay, yeah, I should just start reading scrolls. I found a scroll of enchant weapon, so I'm not going to wait and hope I get a scroll of remove curse. So found a shop, surrounded by money. Got some money, so there's nothing really there that I wanted. Good maces are common enough that I'll be able to find one. There's Pickle? I don't know. He's surrounded by 4 slaves that don't give you any XP, but he gives a ton of XP, so. Pickle comes with a whip, and if he has a whip of electrocution, I didn't check when when he appeared earlier. Put on a cursed ringmail. Okay, that's bad, but what can you do? He's got a whip of flaming. Okay, not really something I care about. And I should be able to kill him with poison needles. I did. I got Wave of Death, Powered by Death level 2, so I'm going to be pretty hard to kill. And just knowing from fighting ogres enough that their max damage is roughly around 30, so I felt pretty safe with 20 some health, like high 20s health and a bit of magic. So that's Duvessa from Doan and Duvessa. There's Doan. Doan, when one dies, the other one gets really upset, and Doan is better to kill first because Duvessa goes rages and then stops raging and just becomes normal again. Whereas if you kill Duvessa first, Doan gets a better spell list, hastes himself, and becomes significantly more dangerous. So what I did there is I just went up the stairs and then got out of dodge, so. I reached 4 stars piety a little while ago, and that allows me to corrupt the level that I'm currently on. And corrupt is an extremely powerful ability. You can only do it once on each individual level, but scroll of recharging. Okay, well, still haven't found remove curse, which is kind of a bummer. Corrupt pulls in all sorts of enemies from the abyss and has them generally just fight stuff for you. And they can kill pretty much anything. Not everything, but corrupting a level will cause any major threat to likely die. So there's been a time where I've corrupted Pandemonium and specifically Sarabob's level. So Sarabob, an enemy with a Panlord with over 600 health and a devastating Iron Shot and Firestorm, Corrupt was able to kill. So it definitely is strong. So discretion is the greatest part of valor. I think that's an accurate quote. So just backing out when things start to get dangerous. For Banish to have the best odds of working, you need to increase your invocation skill, and it's best, or it maxes out at 10.5. So I'm going to train my invocations to about 10.5. Alright, so this is Prince Ribbit. Prince Ribbit is a unique blink frog and has high evasion and hits pretty hard. I used my blowgun and blink to keep away from him and hit him with needles until he died. When he gets low on health, he will teleport away, but since he was poisoned, he died. And he gives a fair amount of XP, so that was nice. Here's Joseph. Joseph has a quarterstaff and a sling, and I just stayed away and pelted him with poison needles until he died. So good way to beat those sort of enemies. So Demonspawn get 5 sets of mutations, and so they'll have 15 mutations total because each one comes in 3s. And there are, let's see, there's scales. There's 4 greater sections, so to speak. You have a body mutation, so every Demonspawn will have one of their auxiliary slots basically removed by a mutation. There are hooves or talons for feet. There are horns or antennae for head, and then there are claws for hands. So you'll either lose headwear, footwear, or handwear by the time you reach level 3 of that mutation. So I haven't gotten my body slot mutation yet, so we'll see about that. There's also scales mutations, and they range from being not super fabulous, like yellow scales, which gives you resist corrosion, to really, really, really strong, like rough black scales, which will give you 10 AC. And I got slimy green scales, so they're not bad, in my opinion. The only thing I can hope for is to get to level 3 of it before I want to enter the poison branch of the dungeon. So I finally found my ring, or my Squirrel Remove Curse, so I can now. I now have the ability to put stuff on willy-nilly, which is what I will be doing. Typically, I like to go to about level 12 before exploring the lair, but we'll see. We'll see where we're at by the end of this. I have a decent AC with the ringmail and the helmet and the cloak. I'm missing boots right now, so there aren't any boots nearby. I've also reached 5 stars piety, which allows me to enter the abyss, and that is number 2, I think, on greatest escapability. Or greatest get out of jail free card. Because I think one of the, Zin has Sanctuary. Oh, Zin has Sanctuary. I'll finish up this point before moving on. Which prevents you from being hurt. And then Lugonu, you can enter the abyss and then heal up in there. You have a few turns at least in the abyss where there won't be anything. Because whenever you enter the abyss, there won't be any immediate enemies. So I got Claws as my body slot mutation, and that allows me to use Unarmed, which is extremely powerful, extremely strong. Don't get me wrong. But it takes a lot of XP, and I don't really know if I want to. So I was hoping for a different body slot mutation, but what can you do? Huh, I ran out of needles. Okay. Level 6, or I mean 6 stars, full piety with Lugonu allows you to give one of your weapons Distortion Brand, and only rarely do I do that, because I find Distortion Okay, this troll is not really what I want to fight right now. So Distortion Brand will like send your enemies away or possibly abyss them. But the reason why I don't like that is because let's say you're fighting an enemy with, ranged abilities, and what they do is, and I'm a melee combatant, they'll blink away and start pelting me with spells again, so not something I'm really a fan of. A lot of the game is just knowing what threats you can take and which threats you can't. And I think since I'm already so invested in maces and flails, I might as well not play an unarmed combat user. I'm also not really particularly a fan of unarmed combat. So here I'm getting hit by an unseen horror, so I'm going to go up the stairs and heal up. I'm trying to think of how I'm going to take out this unseen horror. I want to banish it, but I want to try to get into a spot where I know it's going to get banished. So since banish maxes out, the success chance maxes out at 10.5 levels, I'm going to stop there for a while, because while banish has a 0% failure rate, corrupt and enter the abyss have, well, and corrupt 4% is fine for corrupt, but a 14% chance to enter the abyss, or to fail to enter the abyss, is too high for my taste, because if I'm about to die, I want to make sure that 14% of the time that I can actually get out of there. So what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to find a corridor, so if the unseen horror is hitting me, I can, if I banish down a straight line in which I can't see, manticores are nasty. So this looks like an enemy that I'm going to want to banish, because manticores hit hard and do lots of damage. I could go invisible maybe, but I don't really like it. Alright, so I tried using my paralysis wand a couple times, but after it failed a few times I decided it'd just be better to banish it, and that had a 75% success rate, so that worked out quite well. And since banishing is not killing, banishing the manticore gives you half XP and doesn't trigger powered by death, so I guess I'm in trouble. I decided to banish a couple of those because Lucy gives out piety like candy, basically, I like to say. So it's not a huge deal if you banish a couple of things like frivolously, so to speak. On top of that, killer bees have really low magic resistance, so I knew that they'd be a good target for that. So there's a 1x1 corridor, so I'm gonna go try to banish this unseen horror. Where are you? Oh, there he is. Okay. So I'm getting beat up on, but that's fine because all I have to do is get right here. And I got him. So that's a good way to solve your unseen horror problems if you have such a powerful tool. Or if you have a powerful tool like Banish. Okay, vampire mosquitoes gain health back after if they basically have the vampiric branded attacks. So I don't think I want to go that way. Right now I'm searching for maces and flails because I kind of want to. I'm looking for an upgrade to this weapon, but there really aren't any. There's a volcano on this level, which I would be happy to enter since I have... Oh no, what'd I do with that flail? Oh, okay, there it is. Since I have a resist fire ring. Oh right, I was talking about Demonspawn mutations. So, after body slot mutations and after scale mutations, you have what's basically the tier 2 mutations. And there are several different tier 2 mutations, and your Demonspawn gets 2 of them. So my 2 tier 2 mutations are Powered by Death and Magic Shield, which together work pretty well, I guess. Other ones, there's fire, which is fire is not like fire. It's ignite blood or something. Alright, so I don't really know where this volcano is, so hopefully I can find it before time runs out. I could start reading scrolls hoping for magic mapping, but I found it, so then it's a good time to put on my Ring of Protection from Fire, and we'll see where things go. So we're in a volcano. This particular layout has like 2 paths, one that goes this way and then one that goes this way. And it's not too bad, but I think the other path has gargoyles and molten gargoyles, which I don't really want to fight right now. So I'm going to stick on this path and hopefully avoid fighting them at all. Alright, so here are some armor and weapons, and then a couple potions and stuff. So a ringmail of fire resistance is strictly better than a plain ringmail, and a dire flail, since I have since I don't have a shield, is better than a flail. So a decent portal. So 4-headed Hydra. Hydras are pretty nasty, but I figured I could take it, but I am wrong. So then I'm going to try to banish it after I regen a bit. And with a 60% chance to banish it, I got him on the first try, so that was pretty good. I've had times where I attempted to banish a Hydra like 7 or 8 times and not getting it. So, you know, if you flip a coin enough times, you'll eventually get it right. But still pretty aggravating. So proper play would be to use my enchant armor scrolls as soon as I get them. So I'm going to do that. I've been confused and slowed, so I'm going to think for a little bit about what to do. And then I have 2 of these scrolls, so it was fog. So, and that was the lair. So, how long have I been playing? I've been playing for about 40 some minutes. I think I'll play for a bit longer before saving. And I'm playing this one on a different server than the server I normally play on, so I won't just start playing this one when I'm not recording and get bored like I've done previously. But any game that I started while recording, I haven't lost yet, so that's neat. So right here, I'm dropping stuff that I don't want. I'm dropping meat rations because I have bread rations. I'm dropping cure mutation potions because I'm not mutated. I don't have any spells that I really want to cast, so I drop Brilliance. I should actually have Flight in case. I don't have any ranks in evocation, so I don't need minor wands like Flame and Magic Dart, so that's why I'm dropping those. And I think this is enough to go with right now. So I'm going to go back to the dungeon, see if I can get down to dungeon level 12. Oh right, these mosquitoes. So now with a better weapon I can take them down. And maybe I'll go to dungeon level 13. I don't know. We'll see. Maurice. I'll see if I can paralyze him, because I don't want him to go invisible, and I don't want him to steal my stuff. And I got a Cloak of Poison Resistance, which is kinda useless. I mean, it's not useless. I have a ring already, and then I'll have my scales later, so I guess in the meantime I can just put on a Ring of Resist Cold, so I'll have Fire, Cold, and Poison Resist now. So that's a Cyclops. Cyclopses throw large rocks. They're slow and they hurt. But if you close the distance, they won't throw rocks at you. So I moved like that to get out of line of sight and kill him. Or to get out of line of sight, so he would get close to me, and then I closed the gap and killed him. So I'll just keep going down dungeon. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. Brown ugly things, they'll corrode you. Tengu, they move a bit faster than you, 10% faster. They aren't particularly deadly in my opinion. These enchanted weapons, these animated weapons, those in my opinion are really nasty. But I was able to kill them. Shadows will go invisible and do extra damage while when they attack you, going from invisible to not invisible. They do 2.5 times their regular damage, so really deadly. And I haven't done like extensive testing, but they move a bit faster, I think, if they're invisible. I don't know. It's odd. And then if you can see invisible, their threat is diminished greatly. So I mean, I guess you just you gotta know what you can take. So like with this regeneration and with a dire flail, which does quite a bit of damage, it's got base damage 13, and it's at minimum delay, which is it takes 0.6 turns to swing. So these things, I do a lot of damage and then I heal really quickly. So most of the stuff I've not been concerned about. A vampire, I don't have much magic resist right now, which is a bit of a bummer. But what can you do? I think I'm done training these skills. Like, I've just been training them because in general they're good, and 1818 is decent, I think, for stats.